Big move coming? Could be. With the trade deadline quickly approaching on Tuesday. There's also something else important going on Tuesday. I can't remember what it is. We are going to talk about 5 potential trade targets at 5 different positions for your Seattle Seahawks of who they could potentially bring in. They have about $9 million in cap space, so they do have some flexibility. If they want to make a move, they can do so. We'll discuss it coming up here on the show. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. 12s, I need your help. We are closing in on 59,000 subscribers here on Seahawks today. We're under 300 away from reaching that next milestone. I would love to get there before Sunday's game. Can you guys make it happen? Subscribe now. Join us for a watch party on Sunday, in addition to our daily coverage here on the channel, here on Seahawks Today. Doesn't cost you a thing. Absolutely 100% free. Subscribe now, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Let's begin with Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell, the veteran, the future Hall of Famer, hanging out in Miami with the Dolphins. And this was a name that came up as a potential option over the offseason to reunite with Mike Macdonald. The two had some very good success together in Baltimore. And the reality is that when you look at this Seahawks defensive line right now, Jonathan Hankins has been absolutely atrocious. He has been awful. Byron Murphy's been solid. Jaron Reed's been solid. You look at some of these other pieces here. Leonard Williams has had a good year. But Jonathan Hankins has been a liability. And it's no secret the Seahawks have had some rumblings about potentially finding an upgrade from Jonathan Hankins. Calais Campbell could be that guy. Calais Campbell, the former Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner, the most important award in the National Football League, so I'm told. I disagree. I think it's the MVP. But nonetheless, Calais Campbell, you look at the resume, first team All-Pro in 2017, a six-time Pro Bowler, Defensive Player of the Year in 2017. He's been successful everywhere he's been. An impact player so far this season with 2 sacks. Last year in Atlanta had 6.5 sacks. The year prior in Baltimore, 5.5 sacks. And they always say that Father Time is undefeated. Well, Father Time lost to Calais Campbell. And with the Dolphins just a hot mess right now, I think if you're the Seattle Seahawks, you could potentially get a very good player as a rental just for this year to help fix your problem on that defensive line, be an upgrade from Jonathan Hankins, and could be the difference in you making the postseason or not. Should the Seahawks trade for Calais Campbell? You got 2 options here. Type T for trade, P for pass. Weigh in on our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in. Let us know. T for trade, P for pass. Up next is Jadeveon Clowney, the edge rusher from the Carolina Panthers, a former Seattle Seahawks player. And I know a lot of you are not fans of Jadeveon Clowney. That every time I mention Jadeveon Clowney, a lot of people just kind of sigh. Like, really? Jadeveon Clowney? We went through that experiment. It didn't go so great. But think about beyond what he did in Seattle. When he worked with Mike Macdonald, his career was revived. He had a revival. He was in church on Sunday with Mike Macdonald, basically, in Baltimore, as he was fantastic, had his best season he's had in a long time. And he goes back to what we've pointed to of the Mike Macdonald success story with these veteran edge rushers. Clowney, Justin Houston, Kyle Van Noy, just to name a few. Clowney fits that exact mold of a cheap pass rusher at the back end of his career that did very well in Mike Macdonald's system. Last year, 9.5 sacks compared to the year prior in Cleveland when he had 2, 9 sacks the year prior to that. This season, you look at the Carolina Panthers team, they're just kind of a hot mess. So far this year, he's had 19 tackles, 3 TFLs, and 1 sack. You put him in this Mike Macdonald defense, I think he'd do much better than what he's doing in Carolina. And the Seahawks wouldn't ask much of Clowney. They would just ask him to be a pass rushing specialist. If he was able to stop the run, that'd be nice. If he was useful in coverage, that would be nice. But that's not what they need. They just need more guys to get pressure on the quarterback, and Clowney could help in that sense. If you had to pick one to trade for, of a former Mike McDonald player. Would you go with Calais Campbell or would you go with Jadeveon Clowney? Type CC for Calais Campbell. Type JC for Jadeveon Clowney. Weigh in the comment section and let us know. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose 2 or more players in any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from. And Prize Picks has got a great deal they're offering right now, folks. When you spend $5, they're going to give you $50 to spend for free. You don't even have to win to get the $50. This week on Prize Picks, I'm going with JSN to have more than 54.5 receiving yards, especially since we don't know what DK status is going to be. And this one I feel is pretty easy. Jameis Winston. I love the guy, but Jameis, more than half an interception. You better believe Jameis is going to throw an interception. The guy threw 30 in one season. Play along with me, prizepicks.com/SailNS, promo code SailNS. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Check out Prize Picks today. You want offensive lineman? I got an offensive lineman for you. Let's go Walker Little of the Jacksonville Jags. Now, I will say this. The chances of Little getting traded have gone down since the Jags moved on from Cam Robinson. And they have said that they're giving Walker Little a trial run to see if he could potentially get an extension, but it is a fire sale in Jacksonville right now, and if they got a good offer for Walker Little, I don't think they'd be opposed to trading him. He's got some real talent. When he's been put out there, when he stepped in for Cam Robinson and others, he's shown that he's capable of playing at a high level, but he hasn't really, I think, gotten a fair chance with that Jacksonville Jaguars team, personally speaking. And when you look at the numbers of Walker Little, what he's done, according to PFF, we'll get to that here in just a bit, it might surprise you. He's got experience at both left and right tackle. So with the question marks surrounding the right tackle position for Seattle with Abraham Lucas, we're waiting to see how he looks when he comes back. George Fant as well. Walker Little could be a nice stable piece for that right tackle position. And you think about this. Charles Cross on the left side. What's his specialty? It's pass blocking. Well, Walker Little is much better in run blocking than he is at pass blocking. And what have I been saying, folks, for weeks on end? What's been my message to Ryan Grubb here? Run the damn ball, right? Well, if you want to run the football, if you want to improve that run game, Walker Little can help in that sense. I think this could be a nice addition for Seattle. Let's stay in Jacksonville with the fire sale going on with the Jags, with the Khan family who feel like they're just a bunch of cons, to the rest of the National Football League. Go stick with AEW and get out of football as far as I'm concerned. They're not doing so great with AEW either. Smitty could back me up on that. You look at Andre Cisco, this could be a long-term fit because you think about this. Rayshon Jenkins did not show it off to confidently say that when he comes back from injury, that the Seahawks should bring him back. In all reality, Rayshon Jenkins very well may have played his last down with the Seattle Seahawks, which leaves Seattle searching for answers long-term at that safety position. Cisco's still a very young player, a third-round pick back in 2021. And I found this stat very fascinating, folks. The nerds over at Sports Info Solutions say that since 2022, he has saved the Jags defense a grand total of 78 points. Now, you may not know what that means, and that's okay, but I'm just going to put it in a nutshell for you. That's a lot. He's had a huge impact on Jacksonville's defense with 55 career games played and 41 starts. You look at the statistics of what he's done so far this year, off to a decent start, 1 interception, 4 pass breakups. He's been a ball hawk, 4 interceptions last year, 3 interceptions in 2022. I like Andre Cisco a lot. I feel like he's one of the most underrated players in football. Who's a player the Seahawks should trade for? Who comes to mind that you would like to see on this Seahawks team at the trade deadline? Weigh in and let us know. Last on our list, let's go to the tight end position. This is where we find Austin Hooper of the New England Patriots. The Seahawks are using the tight end position more than what they've had previously under Ryan Grubb. I know a lot of you have been pretty pissed at Ryan Grubb, and I understand where you're coming from. But one improvement we've seen is them effectively use the tight end position. And Noah Fant has had a breakout year of sorts, if you want to call it that. But behind him, they've had some question marks. A.J. Barner hasn't done a ton. Pharaoh Brown hasn't really done a ton. If you want a real pass-catching tight end, Austin Hooper may be your guy. A two-time Pro Bowler, a lot of experience, 130 career games played with 73 starts. And the Patriots are so bad, we know that this is a team that's trying to sell off everything. You could probably get Hooper pretty cheap. You look at the numbers, his best season most recently, you go back to 2022 when he had 41 catches for 444 yards and 2 touchdowns. Could be a real red zone threat either. Remember, Noah Fant in the previous regime wasn't really used as the red zone tight end. So you could have Hooper as the red zone threat and then use Noah Fant potentially in the as you're driving down the field in that type of passing game in that sense. So there's some ideas for you for continuing Seahawks coverage. Subscribe now. If they trade for any one of these players or anybody else for that matter, we're going to talk about it here on the channel. We'll break it down for you. Subscribe now. Stay up to date with your team. We are going to be all over the trade deadline here on the channel. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV to subscribe for free today, and we'll see you next time.